Hey there, YouTubers! It's Trip A Claymore here again with my first book review, and I'm going to be talking about the book Convict Conditioning by Paul Coach Wade. Basically, this is a um, body weight exercise Bible. That's really all I can really call it at this point because it is fantastic. I really I was a little hesitant to buy this book just because it was kind of expensive, but I will definitely say it was well worth the investment. I call it an investment. It wasn't a price, but it was an investment because this is a fantastic book. Basically, what this teaches you is how to do, a very good simple routine on six basic exercises. And those are the push up, the squat, the leg raise, the pull up, the bridge, and the handstand push up. The author he broke it down to those six because he believed that those were the six good basic conditioners for a lot of different activities. Uh, that might sound really simple and boring. I assure you it is not, because what he tells you basically is fantastic information on how to progressively make those exercise. He will jack you up hard on each one. Like, he gives you what he ends up doing is he'll give you the exercise, and he will give you a yeah, this works. He gives you a progression chart where you have to do, like, you start out doing the simplest form of the push up of a push. In this case, it's a push up. Then when you can do a certain set of those, you move on to something harder. And then when you do a certain set of those you move on to something even harder. The idea is you want to basically get up. He breaks it down into steps, like 10 steps. And the idea is, like for a push up, the master step is he wants you to be able to do one arm push ups, and he wants you to do one set of 100 push-ups per arm. So basically you're going to be doing, crazy amounts of work, and you're going to get ridiculously strong if you're already ridiculously strong if you can do one of these. And it's not like those, like, spread leg, one arm push-ups where you're like dive bombing it. It is like you're in regular push-up position, you have one arm out, and you are controlled all the way down and all the way up. It is slow. That's what he recommends, for a lot of muscle gaining. He recommends very slow working, so you master that. Like, that is something that you're not going to have taken away from you or be dependent on momentum. Like, you don't, like, for a squat, he says, you get down into the bottom squat position, and when you come and you stay there for a for a second or two, and then come up. You're not using the little springiness of your legs. You are using muscle to get back up. This is where the progression chart is where it truly. This is where a lot of the gold is for this book. He gives you a few recommendations. At this point, I'm going right to the back because this is something I should have read. Because when I was trying to do a handstand push-up the other day. But not the actual push-up, but the first step in the series to like master that. And it's a headstand. I got to about the 25-second mark of holding the position. I folded. I folded like a bad hand in poker, and it hurt. I folded and, like, tumbled to the side, and I actually hit my foot. It hurt. I, like, crunched my neck a little bit, and it was a scary experience. So basically, I don't want to have that happen. But they also recommend in the back here that if you're new to this is the New Blood series, uh, they recommend you only do push-ups, leg raises, pull-ups, and squats, which is fantastic information because, yes, it's simple. Yes, it seems like it could be boring, but if you really, work at it and progress, you're not going to be bored, and you're going to get you're going to get fit in a hurry. Yeah, they recommend you be careful with the bridges and the handstand push-ups just because they can be. I mean, bridges for the first few sets they're nothing terrible. So if you want to, like, start with them, probably you could add them to the New Blood series without really having a problem with it. But when you start getting like there are some actually like more ballistic type movements that come with the higher progressions, so you'd want to be really careful. I mean, I'm a big like I'm like most of the time like a 280 guy, around 280. I mean, I'll never claim to be the most fit man in the world, and it will never happen. And I can accept that, but for my size, I'm decently mobile, and I tried to do that. I got in the hand, and it can bite you. Just that's the basic main bullet point there. It can bite you if you don't treat this with respect. So basically, like a lot of the bad reviews have come from this saying, oh, he's glorifying prison life and he's making prison look amazing, like this great thing. It's like, I really didn't get that. I got that they have a lot of time on their hands and you better get strong and hurry or you're gonna be another victim at that point. But I mean, like, great the nice thing about it, I mean, they give you all the progression charts. I mean, they show you how to do the exercises in very good detail. I mean, a lot of them are very simple, and anybody can pick these up. They get progressively harder, and that's the way it goes through the whole thing. It's really nice, actually. I mean, this would be a fantastic, little thing to give troops or troops or like law enforcement officers. This is great information because I mean, if our troops could actually master this stuff and be like this one arm push up strong. And I bet there are tons who can, but I mean if this was like a good base to keep them on, they would be just I mean it would just help everybody. I mean this is great for like the normal person who really doesn't want to invest in a whole ton of equipment. Really the only thing I see that you'd have to invest in would be a pull-up bar. Besides that, the very basic equipment he had, just things to do slight pull-ups off of, you know, um, a basketball and a baseball, and that was about the only equipment he had in this whole book, which was fantastic to see. Um, Speaking of equipment, though, a lot of the other reviews of this have said, "Oh, well, he's glorifying body weight and saying that weightlifting is such crap." Well, I didn't get that because basically he acknowledges that weightlifting can be useful, but he also acknowledges that okay, so you can deadlift 400 pounds. How many times can you do that? Okay, you can do it twice. Okay, so when in the real world are you going to have to deadlift 400 pounds? I mean, it's one of those things. He values function over size at this point. Like if your muscles, if you can like outwork somebody, then I mean, you could. I mean, heck, I bet Randy Couture's seen this. 'Cause, I mean, he's a big advocate of outworking people in the in the octagon, and he's probably I've seen some of his training, and it is heavily at body weight. And it's just very good information, though. I mean, if you're like the master of your own body, really there's not a whole lot that of limitations you're going to slam on yourself. I mean, this guy here who did most of the poses for the showing off the exercises for this, he's actually got his own website. It's called beastskills.com. The guy has literally looks like he has no movement limitations whatsoever. I mean, he can like do practically every movement you could imagine, and he will probably be healthy until he's like in his late 90s when he'll probably still be able to do a push-up. So I mean really this is I mean if you're serious about getting in a decent amount of shape, I would suggest picking this up, giving it a good read, and actually being honest with yourself and going through the series and getting yourself up to par in certain ones. Even if you only get half to three-quarters of the way up in all progression sets, you're going to be in good shape. I mean, you're really not going to be in terrible shape at all. So, recommendation for convict conditioning, definitely recommend it highly. Definitely going to say it would be a great investment for anybody. So, I got mine for around $43. That was about, I think, but it is well worth it. Well worth the price. And I would recommend this to anybody looking to get their fitness levels up. So this is Trip A Claymore signing off. Y'all take care now.